General K. Voth stood on the smoldering ruins of what had once been the human resistance's final stronghold. The Zarkonian invasion had been costly, nearly 30% of their forces lost, but finally successful. After 7 brutal years of warfare, the last organized human military resistance had been crushed. "Report," he commanded, his 4 eyes scanning the battlefield as black smoke billowed into Earth's blue sky. "Final resistance pocket eliminated, General," his second-in-command replied. "The human commander fell approximately 6 minutes ago. Our forces are securing the perimeter and eliminating any stragglers." Koth nodded, his leathery skin stretching across his skull. "And the neural network confirms?" "Yes, General. The human known as Admiral Helena Chen was indeed the last commanding officer of their military. With her death, organized human resistance has been terminated." The general allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. The humans had proved far more troublesome than anticipated. Their inferior technology should have made the conquest swift, but their tenacity and unpredictable tactics had turned what should have been a 3-month operation into a 7-year bloodbath. "Send word to the Emperor." "Earth is." A low rumble interrupted him, the ground beneath their feet trembling slightly. "Seismic activity?" Koth questioned, suddenly wary. His science officer consulted her instruments. "Negative, General. Energy spike detected. Originating from beneath the surface, approximately 2 kilometers below our position." Her voice faltered. "Multiple signatures now. Hundreds. Thousands. Appearing globally." Koth's blood ran cold. "Impossible. Our intelligence was thorough. There are no remaining human military installations unaccounted for." The rumbling intensified. Suddenly, the ground 100 meters away split open, and something emerged, a sleek metallic pod that rose silently into the air, hovering momentarily before settling on the broken earth. A seam appeared along its surface, releasing a hiss of escaping air. Similar reports flooded in from across the planet. Thousands of identical pods emerging from hidden underground facilities, from beneath ocean floors, from mountain ranges, places the Zarkonian forces had thoroughly scanned and declared secure. The pod before K. Voth opened, revealing its contents. A human figure, male, encased in some kind of advanced exoskeleton, unlike anything they'd encountered during the war. The armor was seamless, midnight black, with subtle blue energy lines, tracing circuit-like patterns across its surface. The figure stepped out, movements fluid and precise. Where human soldiers had required bulky environmental suits to match Zarkonian strength, this armor was slim, almost elegant. "What is this?" K. Voth demanded. "Identify yourself." The helmeted head turned toward him, the faceplate opaque. When the human spoke, his voice was calm, almost conversational. "Lazarus Protocol initiated. Contingency force activated." The figure seemed to be listening to something only he could hear. "I see." Admiral Chen was the final threshold. K. Voth raised his plasma rifle. "Surrender now, human." The figure tilted his head slightly. "You misunderstand. We're not part of the regular military. We're what comes after." Across the planet, identical conversations were occurring as thousands of similar figures emerged from their long slumber. "I am Captain Marcus Vega, 87 the Chimera Division." The figure's faceplate suddenly cleared, revealing a human face with eyes that glowed an unnatural blue. "We were created for this exact scenario, the fall of conventional forces." Kavoth fired his weapon, but the plasma bolt never reached its target. The human moved with impossible speed, suddenly standing beside him. Metal-gloved fingers closed around the general's weapon, crushing it. "You believed you were fighting humans at their full capacity," Vega continued, his voice still eerily calm. "You weren't. What you faced was humanity's restraint. In orbit, the Zarkonian fleet detected thousands of new energy signatures activating across Earth's surface. Their scanners couldn't identify the technology. Admiral Chen and the conventional military had rules of engagement, Vega explained as his fellow soldiers began systematically dismantling the invasion force. Ethical constraints. Treaties they honored even when you didn't. He gazed up at the sky, where Zarkonian ships were already beginning to fall, struck by weapons fired from the surface weapons that hadn't existed minutes before. We have no such constraints. We are humanity's final option. The contingency that was never supposed to be necessary. His glowing eyes returned to K. Voth. And now that we're awake, we're going to show you why intelligent species throughout the galaxy know better than to push humans to extinction. The Lazarus Protocol had begun.